Good morning, everyone. Paul Ruppel here with Fox 29 News Now. Hope your Monday is off to a great start. We're with you on Fox 29 News Now each weekday after Good Day Philadelphia, coming to you from Technical Operations Center in our newsroom. You're looking live at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway right now. Philadelphia Museum of Art in the distance. Let's get you a quick look at your weather conditions. Right now it's 54 degrees. The dew point is 46. Winds out of the north at 13 miles an hour right now. Pretty quiet on Ultimate Doppler at the moment. A few little green specks in some places, but overall we're looking pretty clear. Let's get you to a quick breaking national story here. The nation's three dominant drug distributors and a big drug maker have reached a tentative deal to settle a lawsuit related to the opioid crisis, just as the first federal trial over the crisis was due to begin Monday, according to a lead lawyer for the local government suing the drug industry. We were getting some reaction here to the hearing. Looks like that tape has ended, but we will try to get you out to that if we see that rolling again. Again, that's the headline from the Associated Press right now. Companies reach tentative deal to settle opioids lawsuit. This tentative deal, details of which were to be announced later Monday, settles claims by state and local governments against distributors AmerisourceBergen, Cardinal Health, and McKesson, and the manufacturer Teva. After 5 drug manufacturers, including Johnson & Johnson, reached settlements leading up to the trial, it became clear that the focus would be largely on the behavior of the distributors. Opening arguments were scheduled to begin Monday in U.S. District Court in Cleveland. Looks like we've got that reaction coming in again. Let's listen in.
It's going to be a federal issue. It's going to be a state issue. It's going to be a local issue. But we're trying to get them the help that they need.
Looks like we're getting caught in some playback that's coming in there of the live event. But again, so this deal was first reported by the Wall Street Journal and was confirmed to the Associated Press, by a lead lawyer for the local government suing the drug industry. The trial was going to be a test case for legal issues involved in thousands of lawsuits brought against players in the opioid industry by state and local governments, Native American tribes, hospitals, and other entities. So apologies for that we missed some of the sound there, but that's live local streaming. We're working with a source that's coming in here. Looks like they're doing some tape playback at the moment. Let's get you to some other national news. This morning, President Trump is set to hold a cabinet meeting and will likely address his decision over the weekend to cancel plans to hold an international summit at his Florida golf club. Mark Meredith, Fox correspondent Mark Meredith, has the story this morning from Washington.
President Trump is set to hold a cabinet meeting. That should be interesting around the round table there.
And will likely address his decision over the weekend to cancel plans to hold an international summit at his Florida golf club.
Oh, change in that decision, huh, Mark?
Hey, Mike, good morning. That's right. The White House had announced on Thursday it selected the Trump-Doral Golf Club for next year's G7 summit, but a tweet late Saturday night from the president himself changed everything.
He was honestly surprised at the level of pushback.
Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says President Trump has changed his mind and no longer plans to hold next year's G7 summit, a meeting with world leaders at his Doral Golf Club in South Florida. The president himself tweeted the news Saturday night, writing, quote, "Based on both media and Democrat-crazed and irrational hostility, we will no longer consider Trump National Doral, Miami, as the host site for the G7 in 2020. The White House said last week it selected Doral after considering multiple other meeting spots across the country, and that it believed by using Doral, the government could save taxpayers money. Democrats say they're glad the president has reversed course amid growing bipartisan scrutiny.
This administration, rife with corruption, is finally coming to a reckoning with the public will of this country.
Democrats were not alone in criticizing the Doral choice. Several Republicans had said they were shocked the president even considered using his own resort.
It shouldn't have been done in the first place, and it's a good move to get out of it and get that out of the papers and off the news. There's lots of other things that the president needs to be focused on.
The president has not said when he could make his next pick, but he added it's possible the U.S. may end up inviting world leaders to Camp David, which has, of course, hosted so many international summits before. Mike and Alex, back to you guys.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you to Fox's Mark Meredith for that report. Let's get you to some business headlines now. Are you willing to spend almost a full day in the air if it meant you could travel from New York to Sydney with no stops? Some flyers tried it out. Here's what they had to say.
Okay, we told you last week that Qantas Airlines, with the little koala bear and stuff like that, they were flying from New York to Sydney, Australia, 20 hours nonstop. You're not getting out that plane for 20 hours. The flight took place.
And they did it because they wanted to test and see the effects it would have on the passengers, Tracy.
So, Trace, what happened?
Yes, well, they had 49 people on board. The passengers, a lot of them, there were some journalists, there were, of course, the crew members, and they did a lot of tests. They did some tests to monitor the pilot's brain waves, also to check melatonin levels. They checked alertness. They did a few exercises in the air just to make sure people were okay and they were reacting to being in the air for this long. Qantas says that they're going to use all of the information and the data that they've collected from this test flight and try and come up with a few things that they can do once they do release this for a commercial flight to take passengers to Sydney, Australia, this nonstop flight. So they've got a few other commercial flights, research flights coming up. One will be from London to Sydney, the other from New York again to Sydney as well. But they did a few different things. One of them is when you got on the plane, even though it was nighttime, they wanted you to be at the same time as it was in Australia. So they served you lunch. They kept the lights on for, I believe it was 6 hours after you got on to try and trick you into thinking it was daytime, even though it was nighttime. So they're trying to start the process of getting you used to the time change, trying to minimize jet lag as quickly as they can.
I heard they also gave like spicy food to help like wake you up and keep you going that way. And then the difference though is they were in business class, a lot of the people that were on the flight. So you have to wonder what it'd be like on coach, because in business class you can lay out. You know, you have a little more
business
options.
class, 20 hours. No problem. But yeah, coach, that might be a little different.
Like she said, there's only 49 people on board, so they had room to move around.
That's true.
But they had exercise classes if you wanted it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know
They
that.
were doing some exercises in the aisle, I think, to get people up and moving and make sure that their blood was circulating.
I already read an article from one of the journalists who's on there, and he said, you know, they would pick it over having a flight with the layover. However,
I agree.
You had to work for it in order to have that convenience. Like everything, staying up, doing all that
Discipline.
stuff. Yeah. So
And
it's
stay
not an
away
easy flight.
from the booze cart, he said. Limit your alcohol intake.
Which some people enjoy
Makes
on
sense.
International flights.
Well, that's true.
But then you have a hangover in the air as well. And
that's
just,
true.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you don't want that.
It's something like drinking 2 or 3 cocktails when you're at altitude.
Yeah.
Tracy, I hope you had a good weekend. And
Thank you to Tracy Carrasco for that report. Right now you're seeing the stock market about as close to even as it'll come. Right now, only 1/100th of a percentage point off. Up at the moment, about 5-6% points. The Dow Jones Industrial Average stands at 26,776. Top stories right now at foxbusiness.com include Wilbur Ross revealing the keys to any U.S.-China trade deal. Of course, the president announced that they had the framework of a deal, I believe, about a little over a week ago. Stocks were up early on good vibes from earnings. And as a Philadelphia fan, I don't know if we're going to have much sympathy for this, but a sports story on Fox Business. New York Yankees spent billions to win World Series only to strike out for a decade. let's get you to... Let's take a live look here. This is footage coming into us from Dallas, Texas, of storm damage from tornadoes. The National Weather Service confirms that a tornado touched down in Dallas last night. Of course, the Eagles were in Dallas last night as well. Radar pinpointed the storm making landfall near Love Field Airport. Several buildings were damaged and thousands are without electricity as a result. A DJ at a radio station in North Dallas was at the station when the twister hit. He said the power went out first, and then he heard the distinctive whistle of a tornado. And he says the building shook, glass windows shattered, blowing everything around. Police and fire rescue are out assessing damaged structures. There are no reports of injuries at this time. So some wild footage there of the storm damage. This is not the first building they've been zoomed in on and showing some of the windows blown out. Structural damage to some of these buildings. There you see, looks like HVAC damaged on the roof peeling away. That building looks like it's partially collapsed. So I hope everyone's okay after that tornado damage near Love Field in Dallas. Let's get you a look at our local weather here. As I mentioned, it's a quiet weather day here. We started off a little chilly, but we've warmed up to 57. Dew point is 46, winds out of north at 9 miles per hour. Should be getting close to 70 degrees today. Again, we'll get you a look at live ultimate Doppler. All things pretty quiet at the moment. Here come your current temperatures across the region. Philadelphia area, 50s for everyone. 57 in Philly. We're as warm as 59 in Wilmington, Delaware, and as cool as 51 in Mount Pocono. A lot of green on the East Coast right now. Again, almost everybody in the 50s except Burlington, Vermont, where it's 44. I'm sure they're hoping it gets cold soon, start making some snow. 84 in Miami, 76 in Tampa, 78 in New Orleans, 68 in Houston, so that's a cool spot on the Gulf Coast. Of course, the coast got hit by the tropical storm Nestor, which then raced across the eastern seaboard and brought us some rain, the remnants of it, over the weekend. Out west, it's in the 50s. Cool spot right now, Santa Fe, New Mexico, just 27 degrees. In terms of temperature change locally, we are pretty close to where we were. Some spots a little bit warmer. Pottstown, Reading, Trenton, 8 or 9 degrees warmer than the same hour yesterday. And some spots are cooler. Atlantic City, 4 degrees cooler than it was yesterday at this time. Winds right now, some locations in double digits. Mount Pocono, Trenton, Wrightstown, Millville, Dover, Atlantic City, all with double digits. Gusts to 17 in Trenton, 18 in Dover, and 20 in Georgetown, Delaware. Winds coming out of the north. Won't be much to speak of in terms of wind chill, given that we're in the 50s just about everywhere. Visibility, perfect all around. There you see those clear skies. Let's get you a look at what we're expecting today from Futurecast. High pressure in charge. Here comes your 7-day forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. Sunny and nice, 68. Calling it a 9 on our forecast by the numbers. Tomorrow, clouds and some PM rain. 66. Sunny and breezy, 64 on Wednesday. Another 8 on our forecast by the numbers. Thursday looks sunny and nice, 66. Friday, some AM sun, then late rain, 64. Looks like we could have some rain overnight, and then clouds to sun on Saturday, 57. Hopefully time to dry out if you have some soccer games or other events outside on Saturday. Sunday, shower chance, 58. Get our Fox 29 weather forecast anywhere on the go. Download our Fox 29 weather app from the Google Play or Apple iTunes stores. Get hourly conditions, get severe weather alerts by your location. Download it now. All right, let's get you to some local news here. A 2-year-old girl is killed a day after an 11-month-old boy was shot 4 times in separate incidents. Young babies are the latest victims of gun violence in the city. I believe this is Kelly Rule with the story here for us this morning.
People can't remain silent when they see something. They have to do something. And we really need to figure out how to get these guns off the street. I mean, at the end of the day, I can assure that nobody was shot with a legal gun. There are folks who are carrying them with impunity. They're firing weapons indiscriminately into homes. And at the end of the day, it's just unacceptable. It's intolerable. And it's sickening, to be honest.
That, of course, was Acting Police Commissioner Coulter talking about the violence there. See if I can get you some more information here about the shootings. Another violent weekend in the city. This time at the center of it were the 2 young children I mentioned, an 11-month-old boy and a 2-year-old girl, shot within 24 hours of each other. Mayor Kenny says he's outraged, disgusted, and heartbroken. The 2-year-old girl was shot and killed in broad daylight yesterday inside a Kensington home. Shots rang out just after 3:30 on the 3300 block of North Water Street. Police say the gunman fired multiple rounds from a rifle through the door and window, striking the little girl and wounding her mother and a contractor who was there doing some work. City officials are echoing Mayor Kenny, saying enough is enough. And that was the sound that you heard from Acting Police Commissioner Christine Coulter. No arrests have been made in that shooting. Investigators are trying to figure out if the gunman was the same person who fired at somebody in a car just 5 minutes earlier a couple blocks away. And this comes less than 24 hours after an 11-month-old was rushed to the hospital after being shot 4 times. There's now a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Someone shot into a car just after 8 Saturday night on West Luzerne Street near North 7th Street in Hunting Park. The young boy is in critical condition at St. Christopher's Hospital for Children. Let's see if we can get you Kelly's full report on that in a little bit. In Lehigh County, dozens of people are homeless after a row home exploded, causing a massive fire spreading to neighboring homes. Lauren Johnson has this report for us.
We had heard that there was going to be demolition continuing this morning, and that's exactly what's happening here behind me. The crews got here about a half hour ago, and they are starting to clear this rubble of bricks, trash, and of course, valuables from inside people's homes. 44 people left homeless, and half a block of row homes are now destroyed. Chaos and panic as this fire started just after 3 a.m. on Sunday morning. Early reports were calling the blaze an explosion, but the police chief and the fire captain later changed that, only saying that ATF specialists were on scene investigating what exactly happened here. The initial call came in as a house fire. Crews came rushing to this scene to discover a collapse and a quickly spreading situation. 8 families directly affected by the fire, 4 other families now displaced by the demolition happening as a result. Neighbors remember hearing what sounded like an explosion or something similar.
My daughter ran, run. And when I went outside, I seen my house on fire and the neighbors. And I wanted to run back in the house, but they wouldn't let me. But they saved all the dogs. All of my grandkids are safe.
It felt like an earthquake. We thought somebody hit the building, but it wasn't a building. We looked out the window, the house was in the middle of the street.
Out of nowhere, I just heard like an explosion. So it kind of woke me up. So I was watching it from my window, and then I went on the third floor in my house, and I was watching it from the roof, and all I see was the fire was spreading even more.
And miraculously, no one was injured as a result of this early morning incident. For most of the morning, the area was smoky and wet on Sunday without power as that demolition started, and many people who ran outside to escape the dangers only left with the clothes on their back. Red Cross disaster teams now helping to assist those that are displaced. If you want to take a live look at Skyfox now over the scene here, you can see what it looks like in the daylight hours. It was hard to see earlier this morning, but crews are here on the ground continuing this demolition on this short block of Fountain Street here in Allentown, and really sad to see a lot of people's clothing, belongings, just, you know, lifelong possessions here mixed in with the rubble and the trash from this fire.
Thank you to Lauren Johnson for that report. Let's get you to some more local news here. In Mercer County, 2 teenagers have been arrested for allegedly urinating on a student at a high school football game. They're also accused of using racial slurs toward the students. Police say it happened Friday night as Lawrence High School took on Steiner High. A middle school girl says she was with other black students when other students started using racial slurs. She says one of the boys then exposed himself and urinated on a younger student. The kids said they tried to tell adults and officers what happened, but were told to just move to the other side of the field.
These young, beautiful queens went and told the law enforcement officers what was occurring, and they did nothing. They need to be held accountable for that. What were you waiting on? A fight to escalate?
Word of the incident spread on social media, and Lawrence Township's police chief and mayor jumped into action the next day. The 2 17-year-olds, both of Indian descent and believed to be Lawrence High School students, are facing several charges for harassment, bias, intimidation, and lewdness. In Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, a police dog bit a boy. This happened at a community event Saturday. The young boy was bitten by a police dog at the Ardsley Family Day event. Medics were on scene and were able to help the child. He was taken to the hospital and has since been released. That police canine is off duty pending the outcome of tests. Today marks 5 weeks since Dulce Maria Alves disappeared, and still no signs of her. Volunteers continue to search. Police say the 5-year-old was abducted around 4 p.m. on September 16th from a park in Bridgeton while playing on the swings with her brother. Investigators want to talk to this man. They believe he is a possible witness. There's a $52,000 reward for any information leading to little Dulce. In Cumberland County, a man has been sentenced to 15 years in prison for killing one girlfriend, and he's charged with another. 34-year-old Daniel Brennan pled guilty to beating his girlfriend, Leanne Flotrower, in her Pittman home last year. Weeks after he was arrested in her death, he was charged with strangling another girlfriend, 24-year-old Courtney Allen, 8 years earlier. She was 6 months pregnant with his baby, according to authorities. In Bucks County, an annual camping trip between family and friends turned deadly over the weekend. Police say 40-year-old Miles Jones shot and killed 2 men he was camping with early Saturday morning at the Homestead Campgrounds in West Rock Hill Township. The victims are 41-year-old Eric Braxton and 46-year-old Arthur Hill. They apparently intervened when Jones got into an argument with his girlfriend. Police say Jones got a gun from a car, came back, and shot them.
Shot one victim in the front, and the evidence shows that he shot the other victim in the back as he was running away. It's tragic, obviously, to lose these two family men, but it could have been much, much worse.
That was Bucks County's DA, Mr. Weintraub. It was the third year for their gathering, but the first year Jones had attended. He faces several charges, including homicide. Police responded to 6 accidents on the Roosevelt Boulevard overnight Saturday, all within 2 hours of each other. The southbound lane was shut down for almost 2 hours between 9th Street and Fox Street. At least 2 people were taken to the hospital, no word on their injuries. A police car was even struck, but the officer was not inside. I want to get you to some breaking news here. This is a fire in West Philadelphia. We're told this is a garage fire at 59th and Irving Streets, or in the area of 60th and Spruce. We're going to stay with this shot for a little bit. This is Sky Fox over the scene live right now. And that looks like it's partial building collapses there. Again, this is in West Philadelphia. Large fire burning. We're going to stay with this shot for a little bit. Again, you're watching Sky Fox live over the scene of a fire in West Philadelphia. We're reported to be at an auto body shop, although it looks to be perhaps a larger building than that, or maybe just occupying a portion of that building. We're taking this live to our website and as well as Facebook and YouTube right now if you're watching Fox 29 News Now. The flames broke out in the area of 60th and Spruce Streets. Sky Fox is over the scene with thick black smoke coming from the building and walls collapsing. There's no word on any injuries at this time. Stay with us on Fox29.com and here on Fox 29 News Now for the latest on this fire as Philadelphia Fire Department crews are pressed into service to try and put this blaze out. Again, Paul Rupel here with you, Fox 29 News Now. You're watching firefighters go to work on a large blaze burning at what was reported to initially be an auto body shop This is in the area of 60th and Spruce Streets in West Philadelphia. You can see lots of firefighting equipment arriving at the scene. The fire is really burning there. We've had partial building collapses. Firefighters trying to get water on that before it spreads to any of the adjoining residential units. We're going to stay with this shot and bring you the latest. See the tower truck going to work on those flames closest to the homes there. We'll stay with Skyfox. All right, we're going to revise the location here. I think the initial information we had is correct. This is at 59th and Irving. Between Irving and Manning, I believe, if I'm looking at this right. This is very close to Sayre High School and the Morris Recreation Center. Fire crews making some headway, turning that black smoke gray. There you see the street sign, Irving Street. Let's get that corrected on our banner here. Again, we're told this is an auto body shop. That's where the flames initially broke out. No reports of any injuries at this point. We'll bring you any information as it comes in, but Skyfox right now over the scene here. Hearing that this is a third alarm fire at this point. Again, it's reported to have initially begun in an auto body shop, but now it's spread, as we can see here, to the entire warehouse. That warehouse is adjoining some residences across the street and next door. Firefighters obviously doing their best to try and contain the blaze to the initial warehouse here. Do have some wind to contend with. We do have winds and some gusts in the area and winds. So as you can see, the smoke billowing out and away from the scene a little bit. See the parts of the walls collapsing onto vehicles down below. Another tower truck trying to get into the battle here. Again, you're watching Philadelphia Fire Department crews battle a large fire that was reported to have begun in an auto body shop of some kind right there at 59th Street between Irving and I believe the other cross street is Manning Street. Is across from a football field there. I think that's a turf field, possibly for Sarah High School, which is right there in the area at 59th and Locust. Right in the area here, you've got houses abutting the warehouse. You've got houses across the street on both sides. You've got Tabernacle Lutheran Church catty-corner to the fire here. So firefighters doing all they can to try and contain the blaze to the originating warehouse here. You see they are having some success turning the smoke from dark black to gray to even almost white in some places at the front of the building. Towers and hoses pointed at the blaze to try and contain it as quickly as possible. While this is happening, of course, also having some building collapses, including onto some of the vehicles that are parked along the facade of the building as it fronts 59th Street. We have crews on the way to this fire. We'll obviously have complete coverage for you on tonight's Fox 29 News at 5, 6, 10, and 11. We'll keep you updated on fox29.com. And we're streaming this to our website as well as our Facebook page and YouTube here if you're watching us on Fox 29 News Now. Stay with this shot as crews work to get the upper hand on this blaze here. Here's what the Philadelphia Fire Department had to say about 10 minutes ago on Twitter, that they're responding to a 3-alarm fire near 60th and Spruce in West Philadelphia. Due to the amount of apparatus in the area and for the safety of the public and first responders, please avoid the area. Here again is Sky Fox over the scene of this blaze. See people gathering on the football field across the way as they watch emergency responders do their best here to get this fire under control as soon as possible. Again, make sure to download the Fox 29 News app to get alert notifications as soon as breaking news comes into our newsroom. Should have mentioned this was near Sayre Junior High School. Sayre Junior High School, and this is as well as the Morris Recreation Center. See, firefighters seem to be getting the upper hand on this blaze. Smoke lightning in color. Here's a shot of what this looked like as our Sky Fox arrived at the scene. Black smoke billowing into the sky. A few cuts here of how this chopper got closer as well. Between that shot, quite a difference between that shot and what you're seeing currently live from Sky Fox. Remarkable work by fire crews to get that blaze under control. Well, we don't have official word that it's under control, but certainly they've reduced the amount of flames that we're seeing visible from the sky. Hopefully have managed to save this from spreading. Our assignment desk has learned that per Philadelphia School District, Sarah Junior High School students have been evacuated and relocated to Andrew Hamilton School at 56 and Spruce Streets. So in light of the major fire taking place across the street there, students were evacuated from Sarah Junior High School to Andrew Hamilton School. Again, we have no reports of any injuries in this blaze at this time. The fire has gone to 3 alarms. Did go to 3 alarms. The entire warehouse was on fire, and there was some exposure to neighboring residences, but hopefully it looks like crews got on this quickly and working to bring it under control. We do not have official word whether this is under control or not at this time. We'll continue to bring you the latest here. Fire officials do expect to talk to the media a little bit. In the area of the Tabernacle Lutheran Church, which is not far away. I believe that may be in the foreground there. Yes, there it is. So tremendous work by the Philadelphia Fire Department there to get that fire, to bring the flames down and keep the community safe. We will be talking to the media in a little while. We'll get you the details on that on fox29.com and keep you updated on the latest on this fire in West Philadelphia at 59th and Irving Streets. All right, let's get you back to, this is a story that I promised you earlier. Our Kelly Rule has this report about a 2-year-old girl killed a day after an 11-month-old baby was shot 4 times in separate incidents. These children are the youngest, or the latest victims of gun violence. Kelly Rule has a story for us from Philadelphia.
Speaking to the magnitude of just how violent this weekend was, Acting Commissioner Christine Coulter said she has not seen violence like this in her 30 years of work. 2 separate shootings in less than 24 hours involving young children. Just unacceptable. As for the latest on those shootings, she says they still don't have a suspect description in the shooting in broad daylight yesterday in Kensington into a home on North Water Street that killed a 2-year-old girl. But she says they have no doubt the shooter was targeting that specific home. Coulter says the 2 others wounded in that shooting are still in the hospital. Now, police say that 11-month-old little boy shot not even 24 hours before on 7th Street, still fighting for his life. No suspect description in that case either.
People can't remain silent when they see something. They have to do something. And we really need to figure out how to get these guns off the street. I mean, at the end of the day, I can assure that nobody was shot with a legal gun. There are folks who are carrying them with impunity. They're firing weapons indiscriminately into homes. And at the end of the day, it's just unacceptable. It's intolerable. And it's sickening, to be honest.
Police saying this morning, of course, short term, their goal is to make arrests. Long term, they're going to have their Office of Gun Violence Prevention out in both of those communities today through the week. A lot of work to be done here.
Thank you to Kelly for that report. Let's get you one last quick look at your weather here. Currently 61. We've warmed up 4 degrees. Dew point is at 46. And winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. So winds are in the double digits as crews continue to battle that fire. Looks like Sky Fox is headed away from the scene right now. I want to thank you very much for joining us today on Fox 29 News Now. We're with you weekdays after Good Day Philadelphia, around 10 a.m. after the Good Day After Show. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll be back with you tomorrow, Tuesday, after Good Day. Thank you for watching.